What's up, guys? It is Coasters and Things here today, and welcome back to another episode of The Thrill Life. Today, Nick and I are actually going to be talking about newly talked about park, as well as talk about our favorite dark rides.
That's right. So, Universal Kids Resort. We knew about this for a little while, that there was going to be a new amusement park in Texas. But yeah, this is going to be just based for younger kids. It won't be a thrill park, but it will be divided into several different sections, including DreamWorks section with Shrek and Puss in Boots, and it may even look like Kung Fu Panda in there. Jurassic World, SpongeBob SquarePants, Minions, Gabby's Dollhouse, and Trolls. Gabby's Dollhouse, I had no idea what that was. I had to look it up. It's some show on Nickelodeon. Yeah, but the park layout, I posted this on my Instagram story. It looks very similar to Animal Kingdom. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
Just the way that the park is laid out. It also will have a hotel alongside the park entrance, similar to like Legoland, Florida, with the hotel right to the left of the park entrance, which I find pretty cool.
A 300-room hotel.
Yeah.
But the park recently broke ground in Frisco, Texas, like last week, I think. It'll be 32 acres, which, to put that in perspective, that's about a third of the size of the Orlando Universal Parks.
Okay. So a decent size. Again, this is a kids park. We weren't expecting anything ginormous, but it's still really cool that they're opening a new park. I mean, you got Epic Universe opening, what, 2025?
Yeah, and this will be opening in 2026.
Right, yeah.
But the concept art has changed a little bit from what it was before. But it shows what it looks like. It shows some small flat rides, some spinny rides, and what appear to be 2 roller coasters.
Yeah, we were discussing this before we began recording. So you think one of them looks very similar to Flight of the Hippogriff, which is at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Hollywood, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Before we get into the dark rides, what dark ride or dark rides do you think that this kids park could get?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because it's Universal, you know they're going to have at least one good dark ride.
Well, yeah. I've heard really great things about VillainCon Minion Blast, which is the new dark ride that replaced Shrek 4D at Universal Studios Florida. It's like you're like stand on a moving walkway and you shoot the screen, so it's not a 3D ride, which, not for nothing, I think 3D attractions are starting to phase out. You look at Justice League Battle for Metropolis at all the Six Flags parks, most of them have taken away the 3D glasses now.
Which was for the better.
Yeah, I'd agree. So yeah, maybe we could see a dark ride like Minion Blast. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Maybe another simulator similar to like Race Through New York with Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, I don't know. Those would be my predictions for dark rides.
Yeah. If I had to take a guess, I wouldn't be surprised to see a SpongeBob dark ride, kind of like the one that's going to Land of Legends.
That's with the Mr. Crab animatronic they had at IAPA, right?
Yeah, except this one would be way better.
Probably, yeah. All right, so yeah, that was all that we wanted to discuss for Universal Kids Resort. As of right now, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we're obviously a couple years away from this, but it's going to be cool to follow the construction over the next couple of years. And yeah, very cool.
Uh-huh.
All right, so now we're going to do our top 5 dark rides. So we both have 2 honorable mentions. I guess we'll kind of just dive right into it.
Yeah, although first I will say I had to think about what defines itself as a dark ride. In my opinion, a dark ride is a ride that is indoors, that doesn't have much fast movement to it, if any, and that has some intricate theming to it, or some theming to it at least.
Yeah, we talked about this before we started recording, but initially I had Test Track on my list, but then I thought back and I realized, yeah, I don't know if Test Track really fits in the same category as the rest of these rides. The indoor portion, you could argue, is a dark ride, but the outdoor portion, what would you even classify Test Track as? It's not a roller coaster. Well, Jack Coaster John, remember he was like, he used to think it was a roller coaster.
It's not a roller coaster. I don't even know what you would call it. It's a speedy ride, that's for sure.
Yeah, same with like Radiator Springs Racers. They're the same style ride. But
Yeah.
yeah, it feels like a launch coaster, but it's not a roller coaster, but it's not a dark ride. So yeah, I don't even know what you would classify it as.
Yeah.
So let me do my 2 honorable mentions real quick, and
All
then you can throw
right.
your 2. So my first one, I've mentioned this on the podcast in the past, but first one is going to be E.T. Adventure at Universal Studios Florida. So to be honest, this ride, I'm not going to act like it has the best technology out there. It's the oldest attraction left at any Universal park, and I
Mhm.
don't think they should remove it anytime soon. I love the pre-show. It's the same original pre-show with Steven Spielberg from when the ride opened in the 90s, and I don't think they should ever change it. It's just, yeah, there's like, you just get some sort of like nostalgia feeling when you're waiting to enter the queue for that attraction. It's yeah, it's very cool. The technology, like I said, it's not as good as some of these newer dark rides, but I don't think it's to the point where it's completely outdated, where it like really, really shows. Like I'd say it still holds up okay. But yeah, either way, I'm gonna throw ET on there. And then my other one is the Haunted Mansion at Knoebels.
Mm.
No?
Yeah.
You don't like that ride?
I
You gave me a
do.
weird reaction.
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. I was gonna say I don't see how anyone couldn't like that ride. It's built in house, and I'm not gonna say it's like even close to like the Haunted Mansion at Disney World. Like I never understood why the Golden Ticket Awards and people rank it above Haunted Mansion at Magic Kingdom and Disneyland. It's very cool for what it is. It's built in house. You got to
Mhm.
appreciate it for what it is, but
Yeah.
nah, I don't think it's like the best haunted house out there, but it's very cool how they did it. That goes
Yeah.
for a lot of rides at Knoebels. Black Diamond, Flying Turns. Knoebels just defies the odds and finds a way to do all these very cool rides, and Haunted Mansion is one of them I would definitely throw up there.
Yeah. So for my 2 honorable mentions, one of them, I had to think about whether this was a dark ride or not. I think it is. I would classify it as a dark ride. For the first honorable mention I have is Pirates of the Caribbean at Magic Kingdom.
Okay, yeah. That one's ranked pretty highly, to be honest. I didn't ride it when I was just at Disney. I rode it a few times when I was little. To be honest, I
Mhm.
don't remember it too much. It's like a boat ride, right?
Yeah, I had to think about whether it was a dark ride or a boat ride. It's mostly a dark ride. It just has a small little dip in it.
What is it called at over Georgia? Monster Mansion. That's a boat
Yeah.
ride, and that's a dark ride.
Yeah. But I love Pirates of the Caribbean. It has great theming. I love the songs that it plays in it. The Johnny Depp animatronic.
Yeah, that I feel like that ride will be there for years to come. I don't think that's going to get removed anytime soon. That's like
It's
a fan favorite.
it's one of the best rides at Magic Kingdom, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't get around to it. I don't even think I went over to that area of the park when I was at Magic Kingdom. I spent most of my time in Tomorrowland because I was riding Space Mountain a bunch.
And then the other honorable mention I had was also the Haunted Mansion at Knoebels.
Oh, it was.
That's why I was like,
Oh,
because
that's why you made that reaction. Okay.
yeah, because I
That's
was like, ah, we have the same honorable mention.
oh, okay. I thought you made that reaction because you were like not a fan of that ride, which
No,
I was like, what?
I love that ride, but I was like, ah, crap, he has it as an honorable mention too.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say you're a fan of like old classic rides built in house. So
yeah,
yeah, that doesn't
um,
surprise me at all.
this is I'm pretty sure the oldest dark ride out of all of these. I think.
Uh
I think it is. It's 50 years old this year.
yeah, I was gonna say I know it's definitely older than ET.
It still holds up as a great dark ride. I don't care what anyone says. It may be old, but it still holds up. It's fantastic.
Yeah. At a park like Knoebels too, it fits right in for, what they're going for with that old school classic amusement park vibe.
I
And
know the freaking truck horn at the end is so loud.
yeah, yeah, it is loud. It's the cars are so tiny. Like me and my uncle when we were at Knoebels in the summer, we went in our own cars because we would have literally been like on top of each other. It's so tiny. Nah, I love that ride. It's so cool.
That's the only ride at Knoebels that is not on the unlimited wristband.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
I
heard that. I
last couple
heard.
times I've been to Knoebel, I just purchased tickets, but you used to get the wristband
Well, it used to be on the unlimited wristband a long time ago. I heard the reason why they took it off is because people were actually jumping out of the cars inside the building.
for real.
Yeah.
No way. Oh my gosh. That's actually crazy. It's so dark in there. I don't even know if I'd be able to find my way out.
No. What kind of idiot would do that?
Hey, I mean, someone was naked on It's a Small World the other day,
I
so anything
know.
can happen at amusement parks, man.
I know. That
Oh,
dude got
geez.
escorted out of the park, by the way.
He did? Yeah, I would
Yes. Uh-huh.
I would hope so. That was pretty funny though. I'm not even gonna lie.
I know.
Oh
But
man.
but for our top 5, ranking favorite roller coasters and favorite parks is already hard enough. But I feel like ranking top dark rides is so much more difficult.
This was actually easier for me than any coaster or park list I've ever had to put together.
Oh. I had to look back at every single dark ride I've ever ridden. I've
Oh wow.
ridden I've ridden well over 30 dark rides, so when you've ridden that
Yeah, I'm
many, it's a
probably I'm
lot.
probably around that myself. I may even have ridden more than you because I know sometimes when you go to parks, you're just in and out. You don't even ride the dark rides. You just hit up the coasters and dip.
Well, if it's a notable dark ride, I try to hit it up.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. But anyway, my number 5 is going to be Justice League Battle for Metropolis at both Six Flags Great Adventure and Over Georgia. I just
Mhm.
put them together. There's really not that many differences between the two. I feel like it's only right to just put them together in the same category because they're both very similar. I think the blasters were a little bit better on the one at Over Georgia because the
Yeah.
sensors sometimes do not work too well at Great Adventure. Sometimes they don't even work at all, and then you're just kind of sitting there and your blaster doesn't work, and that really takes away from the ride. But oh, dude, I've ridden this so many times. What did we do it? We just did it once at Over Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one at Great Adventure though, I've probably done over 150 times to 200 times at this point. I'd like to say I'm pretty good at it. There's enthusiasts that are extremely better at it than me, but I'd like to say I'm better than your average park guest. So,
You've yeah, you've beaten me both times when we've done it.
have I? Yeah, it wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me. No, it's a good ride. Sally Corporation, the Joker animatronic is super cool. And now without the 3D glasses, the screens are like so much clearer. And yeah, like I said, 3D rides are kind of phasing out and they're going for just the screens now, which honestly I think is a better change. So I'm all for it. And yeah, my number 5 is going to be Justice League.
Looking at my top 5, all 5 of them are in Florida. All 5 of them are in Florida. That just shows that's unfair.
The rest of my list are all in Florida.
That just shows how good the dark rides in Florida are. And so for my number 5, I have Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey at Islands of Adventure at Universal.
Nice.
I knew this was a very highly acclaimed dark ride when I went to ride it. I didn't know anything about it though, which I'll say it is a pretty intense dark ride.
Yeah, I didn't ride it when I was just there in May, but no, it's from what I can remember, it's fantastic.
You have the like sideways cars that sway back and forth. When I went and saw the ride vehicles, I was like, "What is this?"
Most people rank it as the best dark ride in all of Universal.
Yeah. For me, wait a sec. Yeah, for me, it is my favorite dark ride at Universal, which means my top 4 dark rides are all Disney dark rides.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a Universal guy over Disney. Everyone on the podcast knows that at this point. I've said it numerous times. I've made it very clear. However, you can't argue that Disney isn't great when it comes to dark rides. Thrill rides, they're definitely lacking, but dark rides, it's hard to top Disney sometimes.
Yeah,
My number 4 is the Great Movie Ride at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
I kind of forgot about that ride. It wouldn't have made my list though.
Oh, dude. I mean, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is a good ride. The technology on it is very, very cool. However, if I could choose between the two, I'd absolutely. Well, this is my weird theory. So they have a theater at Hollywood Studios right now where they show Mickey Mouse shorts. Not that anyone, well, I guess people go and watch them, but I had no desire to go and check any of them out because you can literally just watch them on YouTube. But yeah, they have a theater that they use to show Mickey Mouse shorts right now at Hollywood Studios. And if I owned Hollywood Studios, I would have went with keeping Great Movie Ride and putting Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway where this theater is. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, I still have not done Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Everyone's like, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, the technology is really cool. The pre-show especially is so cool how the wall explodes and then you enter
They,
the station, the loading station.
there's several newer Disney dark rides I still have yet to experience, and that's one of them.
Yeah, no, Mickey and Minnie's is nowhere close to my list, but the Great Movie Ride was so cool. I loved everything about it. I don't want to say any of the films that were featured in Great Movie Ride are any of my favorite films, like Wizard of Oz, Alien, Mary Poppins. You go down the list, but yeah, I just miss like the old Hollywood studios. I really do, which is why I like Universal Studios more now. So, which I didn't used to,
Yeah.
but I do now.
I think I would still take Hollywood Studios over Universal Studios Florida myself.
I mean, yeah, they're both great in different ways, but
The last time I went was when Toy Story Land was brand new.
okay, so Galaxy's Edge was under construction.
Correct. I went in
That was with all the
2018.
blue construction walls. Yeah,
I went in 2018. Yeah.
yeah, you got to get back to Disney at some point.
I know, which means Rise of the Resistance isn't on my list. So before anyone comments, oh my gosh, why is Rise not on your list? Well, it's because I haven't ridden it yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So for I'll just gonna go ahead and put that out there before I get a lot of hate from people.
Oh, there you go.
So okay, for my number 4. My number 4 is the classic Haunted Mansion at Magic Kingdom. I love this ride so much. It's so great. The first time I rode it when I was 9 years old, I actually was kind of afraid of it. It's not scary at all, though. It's great.
Yeah, it's a little spooky for a younger kid. I can agree with that, but nah, like as young adults now, it doesn't scare me at all.
It's really fun, though. It's not scary at all, but it's just a classic. Gotta love the Haunted Mansion. It's still probably one of the most popular rides at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, for sure.
And fun fact, that's actually my mom's favorite ride at Disney.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
My
That's cool.
mom loves haunted houses. So
Did your parents ever go to Knoebels with you?
yes.
They
And
did.
yes, they both did the Haunted Mansion like
They
I
did.
did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, nice. I mean, again, how can you not like the Haunted Mansion at Knoebels for what it is and how they did it? Like, it's so cool. Um, so now we're on number 3. My number 3 is Dinosaur at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
That's
So
pretty
I
good.
rode this for the first time on my senior trip this past spring. I had never ridden it before, and wow, it blew me away. It was super cool. This is a ride that's, I guess, a little bit outdated, but I really liked it. It was actually like somewhat intense. That like ride vehicle really like throws you around.
It does.
I've never seen the movie Dinosaur. I know it's based off that. And it will be interesting to see if this ride sticks around because they're removing Dino Land USA and, changing that entire area. I want
Which
to say to,
which is for the better.
yeah, is it Encanto? I forget. they're changing it to some.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know they're changing the entire area to some Disney movie. They talked about it at D23 this year. I forget, but either way, I hope this ride sticks around. It's in like a back corner that I think they could keep it if they want to. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like it's like in Dinoland, but it's kind of not. So yeah, for where it's located, I think they could keep it if they decide to. And yeah, I hope they do keep it.
I don't really remember Dinosaur all that well, though I remember it being actually somewhat intense for a dark ride.
Yeah, no, I was blown away. I thought it was really really cool. Yeah, it's probably no, never mind. There's one ride I like better at Animal Kingdom. Um, outside of
Yeah,
all the Avatar stuff, it'd be my
yeah,
favorite.
yeah. Okay. For me, number 3 is Toy Story Mania at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Great.
Every single time I love this ride. Every single time I ride it. I'm a big fan of the Toy Story movies. If you don't like the movies, you
Oh
probably
yeah.
won't care for the ride, but I love the movies, so
How
uh,
could you not be a fan?
that's what makes it better. Still love this ride. Not crazy about the 3D glasses. That's the only thing I don't really care for on Toy Story Mania. But aside from that, everything else is great. It's my favorite shooting dark ride.
Yeah, this ride isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon.
It's extremely
Oh
popular.
yeah, it's so beloved. Everyone loves it. And I'm glad I got around to riding it when I was at Hollywood Studios in the spring because I didn't think I was going to get around to it because it had a really long line all day. I didn't even think I was going to get on Slinky Dog because it broke down as I was in line for it, and then it luckily reopened. So
Toy Story Mania always has a long line.
yeah, of outside of the Star Wars attractions, yeah, I'd say Toy Story Mania is probably the third most ridden ride at Hollywood Studios, and for good reason. So
Yeah.
all right, now we made it to the top two. So my number two, this may tick a few people off. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think there's many people that would rank it this way. But my number two is Rise of the Resistance. You don't have to be a Star Wars guy to love Rise of the Resistance because the technology on Rise of the Resistance it's pretty unmatched. Um, I gave this away when we had Jack on, and he was mad about it, but it does have a drop track, or it's like a drop track. But that that part of the ride, like I don't know how high up you are, but yeah, you can feel it, man. Your stomach just completely drops. It's crazy, and it's so massive in there. Like we must be underground or something because I'm still to this day not even sure how that ride is laid out, but the room that you go in with all the stormtroopers, the ceilings, it's like you're in an NBA or like NHL arena. Like it's huge in there. I don't know if you're underground. I still don't know how that ride works. But yeah, you go outside, then you enter another room. It's you want to talk about one of the coolest attractions ever? Rise of the Resistance is up there for sure. I
This is the
think
ride.
again, I miss Streets of America, but I think for that ride alone, Galaxy's Edge was worth it.
That's the I think that's the ride in Florida I want to ride the most. I haven't ridden yet.
Oh, I would say Guardians, Cosmic Rewind.
Okay.
Wait, are you talking dark rides or coasters? Or just
Period.
any ride?
Any ride, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd still put Guardians above Rise. Guardians is the best attraction in all of Disney World, in my opinion. I still might even have Test Track over these two dark rides. Technology isn't as good, but my personal opinion, I just love Test Track.
All right.
Yeah, number two, Rise of the Resistance.
For me, number 2 is Twilight Zone Tower of Terror at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So the two at Hollywood Studios were back to back for me. This actually, in a poll that I saw this year for most popular rides at Disney, Tower of Terror came in at number 1 for most popular Disney World rides. Find that a little surprising,
Yeah, I was gonna say that is a little bit surprising.
but it's so iconic.
Yeah.
It's a perfect. If you saw the video, the episode with Christian, where we did our favorite drop towers. This also made the drop towers list for me. This
No,
is
no, it was
my
flat rides. It was flat rides, not drop towers.
oh duh. Anyways, anyways, so this is the perfect blend between dark ride and drop tower, if you ask me. It's more so a dark ride than a drop tower. Jeez, why does that always stick on my tongue? Um,
You're good.
it's more so a dark ride than a drop tower, if I'm completely honest. The theming in it is so great. The queue theming is fantastic too.
Yeah, I would put it in the top 5 for most popular Disney World rides, but the most popular that you said they ranked this at number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, are they talking all time? Because it's been there for a while.
Let me see. It Yeah, it came in at number 1, and then Space Mountain was number 2. I don't
This
believe
must be
that.
an all-time list then,
It must be, yeah.
not currently. Because if it's currently, I would guess it's either Rise of the Resistance or my number 1, which is Avatar: Flight of Passage. Most people have Rise of the Resistance above Flight of Passage now, but and I'm not like a fan of the Avatar films either, but Flight of Passage was so cool. It's laid out very similar to Soarin'. It's like a giant room with a large screen, and everyone's in different rooms. And
Except it's what freaking Soren should have been.
yeah, but the wind that blows in your face and it has like scents, like you can smell it, like smells
Yeah.
like the jungle or like the forest.
Yeah, you're riding on a banshee.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. I'd say that's probably the most innovative ride in recent years. Rise of the Resistance as well, but nah, my personal list, I'm gonna put Flight of Passage above Rise of the Resistance. That entire Pandora, that entire area. Again, if I was like a fan of the Avatar films, I would probably have been in complete awe, and I still was, but I would have been even more so like, wow.
Way to spoil my number 1, because my number 1's also Flight of Passage, which I knew we were probably going to have the same number 1, because I know you've already told me in the past that you like Flight of Passage more than Rise of the Resistance. So I figured we would probably both have it at number 1, and we did. But for a very good reason. I waited so long for this ride back in 2018. It was worth it. It really was. It was
Oh,
so
it's so
great,
good. It's so good.
so fantastic. It's my favorite ride at Disney World. Period. As of right now.
Yeah, it's like top 3 for me probably. Again, like I said, I'd have Guardians Cosmic Rewind above everything. But Dark Ride, nah, it's got to be Flight of Passage. It's so good. So good.
That ride and Expedition Everest, those two alone make Animal Kingdom worth it.
Yeah, I didn't do the safari when I was there in the spring. I have the safari at Great Adventure, which, yeah, I'd say the one at Animal Kingdom is probably a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But the line was like outrageous that me and my friends just called it a day and we park hopped. We spent very minimal time at Animal Kingdom. But anyway, in recap, my 2 honorable mentions were E.T. and Haunted Mansion. And then Justice League, Battle for Metropolis, great movie ride, Dinosaur, Rise of the Resistance, and Flight of Passage.
Mine, 2 honorable mentions for me were Pirates of the Caribbean and Knoble's Haunted Mansion.
All right.
My top 5 was Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, Haunted Mansion at Magic Kingdom, Toy Story Mania, The Tower of Terror, and Flight of Passage.
All right. Well, that was our top 5 dark rides. Comment your top 5 dark rides down below. We'd love to hear them. And this is a little bit of a sentimental episode because it is time for us to announce that there is just one more episode of The Thrill Life ever after this. With our busy schedules, things just are not really aligning anymore for us to continue this podcast. I posted a very heartfelt message on my Instagram account earlier this week. And if you didn't see that message, I'll just sum it up right here. We really, really appreciate all the support that we've gotten over this entire run, over all 3 series. And yeah, I can tell that a lot of you guys really enjoyed the podcast. Not that I didn't know that people were tuning in already, but I didn't realize how many people were tuning in. We had even more of an audience than I had realized. So, again, we really appreciate it. And stay tuned for our last episode where we're going to look back on some of our favorite moments doing this podcast. Jason, anything you want to throw in there real quick?
Yeah, so it's been great doing this podcast over the past year and a half. I wasn't really aware that it actually got as much attention as it did until so many people commented on your message that
Yeah.
about it, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's been great. I really enjoyed listening to it." I was like, "Dang, it gets more attention than I thought it did."
I told you we get a lot of listeners. We got a lot of listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcasts too.
Because we don't get a whole lot of views here on YouTube.
No, not compared to the stats on the audio platforms. But again, a lot of people, I myself can even admit this. I listen to podcasts more than I watch in like when I'm driving somewhere. Like if I'm driving to work or if I'm just whenever I'm in my car. I usually listen to a podcast rather than watch it at home. But it's nice that we gave you guys both options, and we'll always have these to watch back. So, yeah.
Now
Anything else you want to add?
Now, this does not mean that we're never going to appear on each other's channels and accounts ever again. No way. We're both still going to try and be involved with each other as much as possible.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's one of those things where we can't really commit to recording a podcast and bringing you guys content consistently anymore. But yeah, I mean, who's to say we'll never do a live stream or some sort of other video very similar to this down the line. And I guess I'll announce this right now as well. We're going to be appearing on Coaster Hours live stream in a couple of weeks. So
yeah,
I'll be plugging that on my Instagram account. So maybe you guys can tune into that.
Yeah, and I guess I'll announce this real quick as well. In a couple of weeks, I'll be going to Southern California finally for a college graduation present. I will be graduating college next week, actually. So me and a friend of mine, we're going to Southern California. We're going to SeaWorld San Diego, Belmont Park, Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags Magic Mountain, and Santa Monica Pier.
All right. So, yeah, for the second to last time, close this out, Jason.
So, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned because next episode is going to be the last episode ever. And this is Coasters and Things and
Beyond the Thrills.
Signing out.